All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan. And after the massive success and overwhelming interest in my last conversation with Joanne, I thought, why not keep going? Why not speak with more Western women who fall into the trap of Islam and then somehow manage to get out of it? If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go and check out my conversation with Joanne, a New Yorker who fell in love with an Egyptian Muslim who she married, and he also celebrated 9/11 attacks. It's pretty wild. So you'll find the link at the end of the video or in the description box. But today I'm joined by Angelica, who has a Mexican American with a fascinating story of her own. I'll let her tell it in her own words. Angelica, how are you?
I'm doing so well. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So first of all, before we get into your story, just tell me a little bit about why you approached me. I think you saw Joanne's conversation, and why did you think that you should also come and speak about it?
So I saw Joanne's story and it brought to light that Islam is something we like to think that it happens over there, like it happens far away from us. But I am somebody that actually was a revert, or I converted to Islam. I'm known as revert. And I'm now an apostate. So I thought it was important just because I do have an unusual story, but this is something that happens, and it happens particularly, it's prevalent with converts.
Right. And by the way, welcome to the cool club. You're an apostate, you're an ex-Muslim, so so welcome.
Thank you.
So 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 let's start from the top. So obviously you're Mexican American. You grew up in America, I'm assuming. Um, what happened? How did you get into Islam? I mean, it is something. It is a religion and a culture from faraway land. What got you into it?
So the at this point in my life, I had this almost turning point that kind of changed who I was. Or it didn't change who I was, but it was something that dramatically made me seek out wanting to be anybody but me. I think in my lifetime, I've always chased different identities, or I've chased different things when I wasn't who I wanted to be. And so when I came across Islam, I drastically misunderstood it and I fell for Dawa script, and I was like, oh, like what I was trying to buy into was the opportunity to be this new person. Um, what I got was it was actually frightening once
So
I
some,
really like learned the truth about it. But um, yeah.
so sometimes it's not really that bad being who you are, because we see that time and time again with a lot of Westerners who somehow find the exotic nature of Islam very appealing, very attractive. And I have a theory on that. And obviously, that's not to demean anyone, but it feels like when sometimes when we're not happy in our own skin, we look for other avenues. We look for, as you said, other identities, and then you have these, I would say, these predators, these Dawagandist people who come up to you, who sell you this Islam. Maybe they believe in it wholeheartedly, but they present such a rosy picture. And we have seen imams saying to other preachers that, hey, you know, well, you don't have to tell especially the women, about all the nasty bits of Islam, like their intellect is half of that of a
Yeah.
man, their witness is half
Yeah.
of that of a man, or a husband
They're
can't
a
discipline his.
majority of the inhabitants of hell. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that. So
Mhm.
initially you
Yeah.
don't know, but initially they come to you, sister.
Oh,
Islam
it's
was the
very
first.
romanticized.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They romanticize it up big. They have to. They have to. Otherwise, it wouldn't sell.
Exactly. So what happened with you? So you're not comfortable in your own skin. You wanted something else. You wanted something different, and you. How did you hear about Islam? There must have been someone who would have come to you and they would have sold the beautiful bits of Islam. That, hey, in Islam we treat women like queens. You know. So
Oh, yeah. So I'm somebody that I've always kind of believed in traditionalism and traditional gender roles, and I do see that kind of falling apart in the West.
mm,
So I saw Islam as, wow, like this group of people really adhere to, they really believe in what they're doing, they're disciplined, they pray their 5 times, and their families, the family cohesion. Like I'm sold on this romanticism, but I'm like, let me learn a little more about it. I'd never Googled it. I had never talked with anyone about it, but it started showing up in like YouTube shorts and it started
So
just showing up in
roughly
feeds.
when was this? What year and how old were you around that time?
I had a birthday yesterday, so
Oh,
I'm
happy birthday.
33. Thank
Right.
you. I identify as 27, but I'm actually 33. My
Don't we all?
birthday on 30 is 27. But at that time, I had just turned 31. So this
Okay,
was
so it's fairly
2024.
recent. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this day and
Um,
age, when there's so much content about Islam, because I've heard this effect, a lot of Muslims brag about it, that the more hatred, quote unquote, there is for Islam out there, the more people become interested in it, and then the more people embrace it. Was that the case with you? Did you ever feel that, oh, this is a group that is being unfairly demonized? Let me look into it. What did that happen to you?
At one point, that was actually a point of a Dawa bro, like the person that they paired me up with at the mosque. Like, of course, they give you like a copy of the Quran and they sell you the picture. And then, that person texts you, they're reaching out to you and they're like, well, what's keeping you from accepting Islam? And immediately followed up by, like, I don't answer the question. He's like, is it because of the Islamophobia? Like, you know how Islam is perceived here in the West. It's very demonized because people don't understand it. I didn't have that opinion, but that seed was definitely, I'm not going to say it was planted by him, but it was definitely an idea that
Right,
was kind of like, oh, is this why? Because this must be why, a reason you're hesitant to accept it.
right.
um
Okay, so let's go back to the top. So at 31, you're not happy with yourself. Where did you start
um
about Islam? What was the first point there? You went to a mosque or something, or did you have a friend who said, "Hey, why don't you try Islam?"
Um, so I didn't get connected through anyone personally. Like it just at random started showing up on my phone, all these like pro Islam kind of JavaScript videos that kind of, and of course they like to, what sells are the gotcha points, right? Like they'll debate a Christian apologist, or it's usually like someone will make a point and the representative of Islam will kind of completely own whoever is speaking. And
Yeah,
I was like infatuated with it. I was like, oh wow, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'd never thought of, and I think that's where kind of the infatuation came from. From there, I requested a copy of the Quran just for my, like, let me read about it. Like let me actually look into it. And then that's when like I'm paired up immediately with the Dawa guy from the mosque. And
why a guy? That's so un-Islamic, though. Why a guy? Why not a sister or something like a woman?
I don't know if that's just how they do that. Because like he was like, I think he had to be elected to like he was like a chairperson.
Right,
So I'm actually not sure why it was a guy, but I think he actually deals with a lot of,
converts or new
yeah,
recruits.
yeah. I think he's the first face of new recruits for that
Right.
particular mosque.
Okay. So, did you read the Quran by yourself? It's a pretty boring, long, incoherent book. It's a very difficult read. Like, I mean, most of the stuff you can't even make sense out of it because it's so incoherent. It's so all over the place. It's not in any order. Did
Because it
you
doesn't go in a, not linear sequence is not the word I'm
chronological
looking
order?
for. Chronological, that's the
Yeah.
word. So it doesn't go chronologically, but I think I'm not sure what captivated me about it, but I was like, oh, all these points of like, I remember that time I had all this credit card debt. Don't borrow on interest. Oh, I think I was just seeing what I wanted to see
Mm,
versus with the reality. Like
mm.
that you're not reading in between the lines at all. Like you are literally like, I'm in Delulu land and no one is there to, not that it's anyone's responsibility to rescue me, but I'm really falling for this religion because when I look back at the Quran, like it is boring. It doesn't go in chronological order. a lot of it doesn't make sense, and it's
It's metaphorical. Sometimes it has double meaning. You just don't know what they're talking about. You have to go into. You have to read the commentaries and then maybe the corresponding hadith that explains it. Like it's all over the place. You cannot. The Quran is not an easy read.
yeah.
It's not a good book by any stretch of imagination. Even the Muslims will tell you, were you given a challenge? Produce a verse like that. You
Yeah.
know? So okay, so you're doing that, and then maybe that brother is there. Well, did he call himself a brother? I don't know. So the guy is there to help you through your process, and he's like that annoying, clingy charity sales rep. Is like, oh, please, $2, you can sign up. So he's like that.
Yeah, you can save a dying puppy today. Like he was very much trying to play the BFF, because I
Right.
think when you don't have that much of a support system around you,
Yeah. Right.
people will be able to tell,
Right.
like, and if you don't see the red communist parade in front of you, then that's even they see it. They
Mm,
like if you're delusional, people can tell.
right.
So I think that was definitely the case with me.
And did you not feel the need to maybe, like as I said, back in Joanna's time, it was in the 90s, there was literally nothing about Islam online or anywhere. Actually, there was no internet back then. Um, but did you not think for a moment that maybe have a look at what are the critics of Islam saying about this religion?
I I did, and I would go back and forth, and like I was always very confused, and that was something that even after doing my shahada, I was still very confused because I would listen to the criticism and be like, actually, that makes a lot of sense what they're saying. Like these people, they don't seem incentivized to lie. Why this is more credible than this? So but then you're also told like, oh, well, those people were never Muslims. Like I had an imam one time be like, oh yeah, ex-Muslims were never real Muslims to begin with. And it's no,
So
no.
not a foreign person was ever a person. That's basically what they're saying. So you said Shahada
Yeah.
how quickly into your meeting with this guy and obtaining your first copy of the Quran?
Um, he tried to get in pretty quick, and I think that's how you, I don't want to say that's how you get got, but I think they try to move as quickly as possible. It's like selling a car, right?
Yeah.
It's like having a hard sell. If you get them to agree to it sooner rather than later, because the more time elapses, the more there's a reason
Doubts
why
are
he
gonna
didn't
creep
want me to look
in.
at hadiths. There's a reason he didn't want me
Mm,
to acquire outside knowledge or look at
really?
social media. Yeah. That was very
Oh.
discouraged. And I was like, is there a reason for that? But not like this like not being able to answer the question
So you so
directly
you
was
you so you
weird.
felt pressured. Like I mean, I feel pressured when a salesperson comes on my door and they're so pushy. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to feel embarrassed. I'll just sign up and then I'll cancel it later online. So did you
Yeah.
feel pressured that because like nobody wants confrontations. Nobody wants to you
And
know
I'm very passive aggressive anyway. Like I'm a very passive person. That's something that I need to work on personally, but that is definitely I think a point that I think he like you can kind of you can tell people's nature. And I think he quickly kind of went in on that as well. Like I didn't want to not create conflict, but I kind of felt this pressure of
hurry up and sign up.
my reservations were like, oh, well, it's easy. It was brushed off as, oh, well, that stuff, that's easy. And, Allah is going to judge you like you're like a, little newborn baby, like everything's going to be wiped clean. And like
That's true.
the new person fantasy that I wanted to be true
Mm, that's a very
became
strong
even
point.
more apparent. Yeah.
That's actually true Islamically. So all your past sins are wiped off, and then from the day you say your shahada, is the new person is born. So I can understand that maybe that idea was very attractive to you, and even though there's some red flags popping up here and there, like it's basically telling you that go to that restaurant, take my word for it, do not read any Google reviews, and just order what I tell you to order. So I can understand. Okay, so now you've signed up, you've said your shahada pretty early on. I don't think at this point you know much about Islam, even though some red flags have come. You've ignored them because you wanted to be this new person. You wanted a new life, a new sense of community, and new sense of belonging. Now what? Now where? Because this story takes a pretty drastic turn.
Yeah.
So where in America are you from? I mean, if you
Uh,
want to tell, if you don't want to tell, that's fine.
just for security purpose, like just
Okay,
for privacy,
good.
I would
Okay,
rather not reveal.
okay, fair enough. So wherever you are, so what did you go to a mosque after that in your local mosque?
I did. I did. It was, I don't want to call it my home mosque. Like I
Okay,
grew up
good,
in the
good.
Catholic Church. So like if you went and the area I live in is the South, right? In the southeastern United States. It's known as the Bible Belt. So a lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
will be like, oh, my home church.
right.
Like I would always like, so I don't want to call it the home mosque, but that was the mosque I always went to.
Okay, good.
Um, so I saw all the same faces, knew all the same people, and I am this almost celebrity figure.
Mm. No Western
I
woman, Western woman converted to
Yeah,
Islam. Yay! They love it. They love it. I'm sure you
they
would have been
do.
bombarded with marriage proposals too at one point, but we'll get to
Yeah, no, and that's
that.
um
Sister, will you
I
marry me?
oh God. So I started going to this little Quran reading group to read the Quran in Arabic to like learn the
Yeah.
letters, like the characters, so that I can, because I am, people are treating me like I'm holier than thou, and now I'm gonna be the holiest fuck alive. You feel me? Like I'm gonna be up here because I'm being told Islamically, like this is what the men want, and like I was being little pygmisha. I was like, okay, yeah, yeah, I will have.
Yeah.
So it's
Must
gonna look really impressive when
good.
I know all this stuff, right? Um, so that's where this is how the story gets interesting. Is I was actually taking like it was more of a social gathering
Mm,
versus being an actual learning environment. Like the actual way I learned the characters and whatnot was through like taking classes on WhatsApp
right.
with a teacher like out in Pakistan because they're really cheap. Um, they teach pretty cheaply. So that's how I actually learned. But oh, mashallah, you are just so smart. I'm smart. I am this great, just holy person because I'm making actual progress when really I'm getting classes outside.
Mm,
I go to Friday prayer. I'm going to Juma every Friday, and it's at the point I don't want to say like there's a level of internal policing, I would say. So like your attendance is kind of almost marked. If you're known to be at Friday prayer and you don't show up, like is everything okay, sister? Sisters, are you all right? Are you working or something? Like you picking up some extra shifts at work? It becomes that was my experience, and
that's pressure.
so
Yeah. It's a very passive aggressive pressure, isn't it? It's like you would feel
yeah,
guilty about it, whereas I think you would not have experienced that with your church. Maybe if someone goes to church every Sunday and then maybe your priest might ask, "Oh, is everything okay?" But here they're not looking at it from this angle. They're looking at it from the angle of, is she drifting away? Is there something going on? Or which is fair enough. I guess they're also looking at it from the sins perspective. Like I mean, because they do want to save you from eternal damnation. So there is that element. I mean, it is coming. Like I'll take it on good faith, but still, like it's very foreign to you.
it's still and it almost came out of like and I would feel guilty on the inside just because I'm like I'm not doing it for the sake of Allah, but like I'm also like well I was but like I was also like I was going through a lot of self-indoctrination at the time, and so like it was almost expected that I was there, right? And it became this almost it felt obligatory to do it, and I
Mm,
was clocking like 4 or 5 hours just because people like to chat. Like it would be time for maghrib almost by the time I would leave,
mm.
and the khutbah would be at like 2 p.m.
Wow. What
So
from two till Maghrib time? Maghrib time is the evening time. It's 7 o'clock or something,
yeah,
8 o'clock. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
so
That's like 5 hours.
yeah, and I
Oh
was
wow.
expected like sit there and smile, and the Quran reading teacher lady really took a liking to me. Um, so she calls me one day because in passing, I just happened to say, yeah, one day I would like to get married and have a family. And
Hmm.
that's true today. That's still true. Um, she she calls
Always
me
happens.
one day.
She hooks you up. I got a brother.
Yeah, she goes, ring, ring. And I'm like, oh, hey, like, what's up? And she's like, can you, you're coming on Friday, right? I would like you to meet someone.
Ooh.
And I don't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's fine. Totally fine.
They
So
move really fast. Move really
yeah,
fast.
yeah, and this is I did my Shahada in March. This is like coming into kind of May.
Mm.
So,
When did you
um,
say your Shahada, sorry?
March.
Wow, April, May. Wow, that's 2 months. I mean, the whole religion thing
So,
is pretty new to you. Right,
yeah.
okay.
So she's like, there's someone I want you to meet, so we'll see you Friday. And
Okay.
I was like,
All
yep,
right.
totally cool. I go into the mosque. There's some lady who, like, she finds me. A Quran teacher lady finds me, and she also finds this lady. We'll call her Aunt, just to protect her identity. Um, Aunt and I just meet very briefly before prayer, and then Aunt is like, "Oh, you seem like such a sweet girl. Would you like to come over for tea? I'll have tea for you. If you want some snacks or something, like I'll feed you. I'll make you something. Um, And so she begins like talking to me a little bit about her nephew.
Mm.
Um, and this is where the story gets. It should have raised alarm bells, but it somehow didn't. But yet the whole communist parade was in front of me, and I didn't see red. So that. um,
By the way, just to be fair, it is pretty normal for Muslims to do things that way. The whole purpose of
that is
us doing this conversation is so all these Western women who do fall into this trap, fair enough, you're free to make your life's decisions, but be mindful that this is a culture which is totally alien from your culture. And when you get into it, you pretty much will have to leave everything behind. Everything that you have known, everything you grew up with. There's no dating, there's no getting to know each other. Whether that's right or wrong, forget about that. But the point is, you will have to give up your identity altogether.
everything you know,
Yeah. So
everything
anyway,
you know.
yeah. So carry on.
And on top of that, what made me a prime candidate, just in hindsight, was I didn't have what was known as a wali, a guardian, right? And so
Which is
when
usually a
you're in a
father.
yeah,
It has to be a male. It cannot be a female in the family.
cannot. And so my dad I hadn't seen since I was like 17, so I haven't, who knows if you're still alive, you know what I
Mm.
mean? I didn't have, you know, I'm not really close to any other males in my family. Like geographically, we're all pretty spread apart. Like we're friends on Facebook. I had, my cousin wished me happy birthday yesterday, but like that's kind of the extent of how well we know it. We don't really know each other like that.
Yeah, but he
So
wasn't. So let's just say he wasn't going to come to your town and say, "Hey, congratulations, you've converted to Islam. I'll be your guardian." So he wasn't going to do that.
yeah.
All right.
So and when you're navigating things on your own, I think that definitely puts a target on you, whether you realize it or not.
Mm.
The fact that like I was wearing a niqab already at this time, and it was to hide my face.
I was going to show you that. Sorry, again, I'm interrupting, and people will get angry.
Oh
So,
no, no, please.
here are the photos. So this is in niqab. This is actually a headscarf. It's not a niqab.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
that's a
hijab. That's the
headscarf.
day of my shahada.
That's the day of your shahada. The day you said your shahada, you
Yeah.
put this hijab on.
It was put on me, but yeah,
And you went along with it. Okay. And then this
absolutely.
is a niqab. Oh boy. How was that experience? Let's just tell me. So from March you say your shahada, May you're getting a marriage proposal. So you start with with a hijab, and then how long after you wear this?
That started also kind of like it was it was about May, maybe end of April, like May. I was constantly sad all the time because I felt this. immense guilt. I felt this cognitive dissonance, like the things that were my present, or the beliefs that I held, and the beliefs and thoughts that I held and knew to be true were like Islam was contradicting, like
Mm.
this information was, when you have two conflicting thoughts or beliefs at the same time ongoing, it produces a lot of cognitive dissonance. And to cover my sadness, like I was like, at this point in my life, like I was like, I was crying a lot. Like I was really, I didn't want people to be able to read how I felt. So to not have that judgment on me, that's a big reason that I started wearing the niqab.
So
Um,
when you said your shahada, and despite embracing this new faith or starting a new life, even changing your outlook, you were still not happy. You were still, obviously, you had conflicting thoughts, but would you still categorize that period as an unhappy period?
I would. I don't. I think Islam actually, in a lot of ways, was harmful to my mental health because I believed I was gonna. I felt like a little kid again, almost like I'm going to hell for all these things and this and this and this and this and this. And I didn't feel like doing prayer today. And like I remember a time I wore my UGG slippers
Mm.
during prayer, and I was like, well, fuck, now Allah's not going to accept my prayers, and I am this horrible, like I am just,
Wow.
I was like constantly like it gave me so much to worry. It gave me a new set of things
Anxiety.
to worry about.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the set of problems changed, but like the underlying cause didn't change. So I was still largely unhappy,
And
in part.
that might have played a part in you switching from hijab to niqab, because if you're going in, may as well do what he wants me to do.
Yeah. So I started doing that. And so when I could tell that aunt liked this very much. She was very, I could tell like she really just really loved it. She later on down the line she'd be like, "Oh, well, you and, nephew and you, like I just think you guys would be so good together because the first time I saw you, you just had this great energy about you, and I saw you in a niqab and you just seemed so
Good together.
yeah, like just so
Mashallah, what a
like you
beautiful
just
couple.
yeah, like mashallah, you were just so have this just great energy." And she talked about this great um kind of perceived greatness about me, which doesn't have anything to do with compatibility with nephew.
Right.
So she's inviting me over all the time, and Quran teacher lady's kind of checking in on it to make sure that. And at the
She's
time,
on
I
the
should have
path.
been like, yeah, like I didn't think anything of it, or I didn't think it was as suspicious as like in hindsight. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what is this?
Mm.
Right? But she's calling, checking in to make sure everything's cool, and
We don't want to lose
um,
this girl. Look, I mean, there could be genuine concern. Look, as I said, I mean, there may not be like up until this point. Obviously, in hindsight, you'll probably will know more about it because this, as I said, the story is going to take a very dramatic turn. So, okay, so she hooks you up with with her nephew, and now you're in full blown niqabi within 2 months, and you're still not happy about it, but you seem to be going with it.
yeah, so nephew just happens to call on my first visit. Like he just happens to call because it's Fajr in the country where he lives. He lives in Germany.
Right.
He does not like I have never met him in my life. And I was like, oh well, I don't have a wali. And my aunt goes, oh, sister, don't no need to worry about that. I will oversee the phone call. I
But she's
don't
a
worry
woman.
about all that. Yeah,
She's a woman.
but
She can't be a
he took
wali.
right, and I knew that, but I didn't. I thought like just to have a supervisor, like it was halal because like she was being the intermediary, like supervisor,
Sure. She didn't
and
bend the
that,
rules.
so like yeah, and that's what was told to me. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like that's fine. So he just happens to call, and we have a short conversation that's monitored, and then further down the line, like she became the contact. She's like, oh well, why don't we start a group chat? Totally halal, we'll start the group chat. um, alhamdulillah, like this is, I'm happy for you guys. Let's start a group chat. And so all communications from then, she was monitoring everything. Um, Coincidentally, in June, this family vacation is coming up. And it just so happens nephew is going on the family vacation. She then like they start talking to me, and they meaning aunt and her husband start talking to me about, oh yeah, we love it here in Turkey, Istanbul is this great place, and they're starting to sell me on a how holy this guy is, nephew, and b, what a great thing, because you know the I don't want to say attending, what the supervisor will be there, so it's not haram. So good thing she's going to be there, and people can oversee us at this point. And it just so happens that they would love for me to come. Like, I get invited on this vacation.
Straight away. That's your first meeting.
uh Not like, and not, they didn't invite me on the first meeting, so she invited me a couple more times, like
Right.
after Eid prayer. She's like, oh, come eat breakfast, come to my house, we'll have breakfast, we got breakfast for you, we'll
Mm,
it was constant invites, and establishing a relationship with me while kind of interjecting the nephew,
right. Right.
to establish a relationship with him, because there needs to be an incentive for me to get to Turkey. And they
Yeah.
made it very easy by, oh, well, now family vacation.
No, that's
And
totally haram. That's
yeah,
totally haram.
and
I'm actually thinking of this hadith, which I have to read out. Prophet Muhammad really hated that. So the Messenger of Allah said, "No woman should arrange the marriage of another woman, and no woman should arrange her own marriage. The adulteress is the one who arranges her own marriage." So, so basically, at this point, you have no guardian, and it can go all the way to Mr. President. If you don't have a guardian, then your president, the ruler, is your guardian. But you have to find someone, a man. So anyway, so it seems pretty predatory. So I'm sorry to say that. Like, I mean, you
yeah.
are going through your own little personal journey. You're all alone. There's no one in your family. That's very predatory. Like, oh, how about we snap her up and maybe, take her to Turkey? Okay, so they offer you to, let's go to Turkey. Everything is going to be fine. It's just a holiday. You're a Western woman. People can go on holidays. Turkey, Istanbul is pretty cool. So when did you decide, after a couple of times they made that offer to you, when did you decide that, okay, maybe I should take the chance?
um I was encouraged to not tell my mom either what was going on, like, because my mom is like the closest relative to me.
Mm,
Like, she lives in the same state. So the whole time, like, I'm not really sure why that is, but I'm like, all right. But like, they keep, every time I visit aunt, uh, they're kind of showing me YouTube videos and like little travel vlogs of Istanbul, and oh, look how fun and great, and we've been there plenty of times, and it's so much, it's great. And
you're going to love it.
so yeah, I'm being sold that I'm gonna love it, and it just so happens that nephew can come. And how great would that be? Because mashallah, like, God has willed it. You guys would just be so great together, yada yada yada. And I was like, oh, what and again, like, I'm playing into, oh yeah, well, might not be so bad. Like, I'll just,
But you
new
haven't seen this guy
country.
yet.
No, I've never met, no.
But you haven't even
I've
seen
seen him
him.
like
Have you
on
seen?
video, like
Okay.
video chat,
Were
with
you
the aunt
attracted to
on.
him? Did you say, okay, maybe that guy's all right?
Um, I mean, he wasn't ugly or anything, but he did come with baggage, so he wouldn't sign for. And I know that men can violate whatever they want to, but in the nikah contract, he would not sign for not to marry additional wives.
All right.
That was non-negotiable.
That's
Another thing,
non-negotiable.
oh,
That's a massive.
non-negotiable.
That's a massive red flag.
And then on top of that, he has he has 4 kids and an ex-wife.
Hmm.
They're aged, at the time they were 6 to 12, so they're like, they're not, it's not like they're 2 and 3, like they're not little. and there's 4 of them.
Jeez.
I, you know,
Once more.
so yeah, and nothing quite says I want to fuck other bitches. Like this is non-negotiable. I will marry other women.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
And
massive red flag. And again, I'm sorry, and you still thought, okay, let's just go with it.
I was like, let's just, I can live my, I'll meet him, and what's the worst that can happen?
I can come
I
back.
really wish someone would have just slapped the fuck out of me. What's the worst that can? Are you serious, bitch? Stop! Quit playing.
Had you
Um,
not watched the movie Not Without My Daughter? Had you watched that movie?
I had seen it like years prior.
Oh wow. Yeah,
And
see.
so this is like I had not like heard that movie title in years, and I'm the whole time like there's a reason that like I'm being told not to talk to my mom, like don't involve your family, it's fine.
Oh my God.
And I'm
They're
like,
isolating you on
yeah,
purpose.
and so I'm the only input I'm getting. It's an echo chamber, so the only input I'm getting is the Islamic influence. It's going to be because
It's more
aunt
than
was a
that.
very
But Angelica, it sounds more than that. It seems like this family is also exploiting it. And so the auntie is doing it for her nephew. She knows who her nephew is, and that's why she's trying so hard to secure a new recruit to Islam. So that ticks their box that she's a Muslim, and she's young and whatnot. And then her nephew has already got baggage, and to top it all, he says, "No, I'm not going to give you any security. I'll keep marrying after you. I'll have second and third wife after that." So they're actually excluding you from the rest of the Muslim. Well, actually, this is within the norms of Islam. So again, that's the problem with these people because they think it's halal. It's actually halal. It's perfectly fine.
and that's what they sold me on is, oh, this is all halal, this is, completely, I'm being sold I'm in my perfectly fine bubble because my dumbass doesn't know better. My dumbass didn't know better at the time. And so if we like so just fast forward, I'm being told things like, don't worry about, checking a bag. Don't worry about the check bag. You shouldn't have to pay the 75 $85 fee to check your own bag. Just, hand me your stuff. Turkey is so cheap. You can buy a whole new wardrobe. Alhamdulillah, you can whole new wardrobe for you. You can just buy a new wardrobe when you get there. And, you just need to pack a couple things. So what I'll do is I'll just take it in my luggage. All of your stuff I can take in my luggage. And I was, that to me, I don't know why that was the sounding bell that was like, no, I carry a lot of things. I need a lot of stuff. I've
Like that's a
been
lot of
all
personal
these,
stuff.
yeah. And
I
I was
didn't.
like, I'm going to ask you to look, here's a makeup palette, right? I'm going to ask you to use it. That's silly. So I was like, that's silly as fuck, but I'm not going to say that because, I don't want to burst the image of being the nice Muslim girl that they think the person they think I am is not who I really am. So I don't want to be a rude bitch. So to avoid that, I just decided I will take on I'm just going to check a bag. Like, I'm not going to ask you
That's
like,
okay. It's only $80.
that's,
I'll pay. Don't worry.
yeah. And I was like, oh no, I appreciate that, but don't worry. Like, it was being sold to me as a don't worry problem when really it's like, no, why that's so that creates so many issues. And why I'm not going to wait on my stuff. Like, I'm not that, but like you can control every little thing that I do if you have possession of my things.
I think that's very controlling. That's very
And
controlling.
like they don't think I saw that plot, and I was like, I'm kind of starting to see some red. That was kind of what raised a little bit of a red flag for me, was like the even wanting to have me give her all of my things and just take a carry on. That's all you. Okay, so
But
I
that
end up,
wasn't fair enough. That was the first red flag that you registered. But again, that didn't cross the threshold of pulling the pin.
yeah. So it wasn't until like, so if we like fast forward, I'm packed up, and like 2 days before, it was about 2 days before I'm set to leave. I already have flights. I already have, tickets. Like, I'm already set to go. One of the sisters in my Quran reading group says, hey, she calls me and goes, do you happen to be going abroad? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And she's like, are you by chance getting married? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Inshallah, I don't know. God willing,
Wow.
I'm not sure. Um, and she goes, she's like, all right, well, I'll talk to you later. And then she calls me back and goes, hey, I'm really sorry, but I don't feel right about this. And there's something that I need to say to you. Do you have any time whatsoever? I know you're leaving the country, but can you meet for coffee?
Good.
I accept. And then she's like, hey, do you remember so and so? And I was like, yeah, like I remember so and so. Because she's asking if so and so can come to this little coffee meet because so and so is also kind of concerned about me.
Good.
And these are the actual heroes
Is
of the
that so and
story.
so also from your Quran class group?
She was not. I met her during Taraweh and like during
Tarawih. Okay.
Ramadan.
Yeah. Right.
So I met her at like 11:30 at night praying.
Right.
Uh,
So,
so
so these other Muslim girls, they're being
yes,
concerned because they're seeing, oh, hang on a second, this poor Western woman, she knows nothing about this culture, this religion. She has no one in her immediate vicinity or in her family who could advise her or look after her or know where she's going. So they approach you. Okay, so you meet up for a coffee, then what?
uh, she we sit down and she buys my coffee and I'm like, oh, thanks, yeah. And so she goes, and I was concerned about backbiting because there's talking shit about people is un-Islam, and but I can see how it's a double-edged sword. Backbiting, like that can actually be counterintuitive to your safety. And I was like, oh, I don't want to backbite. I'm kind of resisting a little bit at first, but I can see they're coming from a place of concern, and I'm like, well, I don't want to reveal too much about people because that's I don't want to you know
You were
I
still
just don't want
protective
to.
of your, you were still defensive over your actions, and you knew that you know what you're doing. Um, so you thought that their intent might be to gossip or maybe backbite or
Yeah,
settle
and
their own
I
scores or
didn't want
something.
to be the
Mm,
source of that because I didn't
right.
want to be a sinful person, right? And
Oh,
so I'm
Jesus.
trying to uphold what I know to be true because once you learn it, you're bound by it. So I'm kind of hesitant to because I don't want to be seen as the gossiper. But then she goes, all right, so we kind of know you're going abroad. I would advise you to still keep praying your 5 times because mashallah, you are a good sister. Like you have a very kind heart. You're this kind person, and you need to keep praying your 5 times. So don't skip that. Keep doing that. So that's like kind of eye roll advice. But
Okay.
also, what we want to point out to you is just by the way, any kind of pray is to like do istikara, like do anything you can because there's going to be a proposal coming your way. So you need to pray istikara, avoid saying no in that country. Say you need to think about it, make up an excuse, do whatever. Do not say yes over
Good.
there. Do
Good.
you need to if you need to say that you need to pray istikara and you need to the dua after the night prayer. You they're telling me like hold off until you get back to the United States. Like say no when until like save that no for America.
That's a good
All right, like
advice.
because it was very much like I felt comfortable enough to say what I actually like. Say how you really feel. All right, well like this dude doesn't like he can't. I'm not feeling it. But I don't I already don't want to. I know I'm gonna have to make family appearances. Right, the brother lives his nephew's brother lives in Turkey, as well as brother's wife, and so I'm gonna have to be making family visits. They're making, there's a lot that's going into this, and I already kind of I'm obligated into that already, but
Mm.
it's do you see what I'm saying? So this is
But you couldn't
the
pull
actual
out.
person.
You couldn't pull out. They could not convince you to not don't go there, but they gave you a useful advice that don't antagonize them and say yes. Somehow get out of there, and then maybe when you come back and think about it, you might want to marry him or whatnot. So that's the advice. You took it on board, and now you're
I don't mention the meeting at all because
good.
I want to protect them because I appreciate the advice because it kind of solidified what I already, I knew that like I could say, but don't say that there. It's
No, but
not,
I'm pretty
they told me
sure
like,
up
don't do
until
that.
up until this point, learning from you the decisions you've made, I feel that had they pushed you, you might have said yes if it wasn't for that advice. I mean, I don't know how the story ends, but I'm just thinking. This is why I'm saying that that advice is pretty good because when someone else says something in your ear, and then that plays out right in front of you, then that rings like a alarm bell. That ding ding ding. Oh yeah, that person told me. So no, definitely no. No matter how much I feel compelled to say yes, I'm not gonna say. Okay, so you fly to Istanbul. Then what?
All right. So I'm in Istanbul and I get my bag, and immediately Aunt isn't really happy that I brought a bag
Ooh.
because she wanted to hold my stuff. That was the idea of, oh, that's the idea of, oh, well, you don't need to worry about your checked bag. I'll hold all your stuff for you. Don't worry about it.
I'm really
No,
curious to know
I
the
will.
purpose of it.
I'll burden myself with the $85 fee, bitch. I don't care. Like, catch me
I'm,
outside, catch me anywhere.
I'm really curious to know the purpose behind that, other than what I already think. I think it's just to control you altogether. Like
Oh, it's
even
absolutely.
that was the
That's in
purpose.
hindsight. That's what I think what it is. Like I was never broken. Like the reasons for that were never broken down for me.
Mm.
But I can only presume it was to control me and to even
Down to
because
your clothes, down to your very personal items. Like you have to
yeah, down
ask
to
them.
clothes, anything that I choose to bring with me.
Mm.
You know,
Makeup too much? No, you don't need to put that pink lipstick on, bitch. This is haram. So down to that,
oh
basically.
yeah, and like even like if I brought perfume, that would have been judged because the guy was like, "Oh no, perfume outside the house." you know,
Those of you who don't know, perfume for women is haram because the fragrance that emanates from a woman, and when it enters into the nostrils of a strange man, he might get turned on by that, and if he does something, then the woman
and then you're
is
to blame because
responsible.
you're the one that put it on. So yeah,
Oh jeez.
I wasn't, I knew that it was kind of designed to control, and it was just going to create problems. So I decided I'm going to burden myself, and if I get pushback, it's cool, whatever.
You stood up.
So
Good. She's unhappy.
she, and this is like one of the only things that I
Stood up
felt
for.
like this is a safe thing to do. So I'm in Istanbul. She's not happy about me getting the bag, but I'm in the Istanbul airport and I walk and I'm handed flowers by nephew because this is my first time seeing him face to face. And I'm handed flowers, I'm smiling, I'm like,
Not antagonize
happy
him, are you?
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Were you really
so
happy though? Or did you feel that? Oh, hang on. What am I doing here?
no, I was tired. I just did. I like it's when like you're tired, you just want to kind of lay down. Like I had
Go
a
to your
12-hour
Airbnb, have a shower. I don't want to talk to anyone. Get out of my
not
life, kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, and like but you can't say that. You have to like be not like you
Mm,
have to be nice in that situation. Like you
mm.
have to be and it was a good thing that I brought a hijab, like because I was in full dress code, like definitely, like I looked the part. I'm like, I'm the nice Muslim girl. I can't, for me to be rude now, like that's gonna look very bad on me. And the whole like the aunt and nephew, and like I just almost felt like I'd definitely be reprimanded if I was rude anyway by aunt because she's they were the type of people that were very quick to not like whatever you're doing and let you know about it.
So, did you notice suddenly there was a massive difference in her personality? Because up until that point, they were kissing your ass, and now she's like,
Now like that this is when I started, the tables definitely started to turn. So I don't even know where I'm staying. They dropped me
did you not
off.
book it? Did you not book your own Airbnb?
They like they booked it for me and told me don't worry about it. And I was like,
Didn't do
well, I
it.
am a little bit like honestly because like I don't know where am I going to be at.
Google Maps, like people do that. People check out, like, oh, which neighborhood is seen, what are the scenic tourist spots around there. So you didn't do
Yeah.
any of that.
I knew it was in Billy Kazoo.
Okay,
which
so you
is
knew the
supposedly
area.
the hood.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh,
So I
really?
knew the area. It's supposedly the hood. I didn't see what was so ghetto about it, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. So I'm dropped off at this hijabi lady's house, and she has two kids, and like her husband was away, and so she's, basically like to make income, like renting out the Airbnb room. I have my own room, cool. Um,
They didn't even get you
but
they didn't even get you a whole apartment. That's a bit weird.
no. And this is gonna what happens next is gonna be kind of the kicker. Like you're gonna see why.
Okay.
So I I would wake up in the morning, like first full days, like I'm, kind of on call, like I'm kind of on call. Like I know I'm expected to make family appearances. I don't know what their schedule is. I don't know what's up, and I don't. But I remember like I booked a walking tour of Istanbul ran by this college kid off of Airbnb experiences. So this is going to be important later. But the host of Airbnb, I would see my name on the WhatsApp chat on her phone,
Okay.
and it would be with Aunt, right? Aunt would be because you know how on WhatsApp I can see like if Joe Schmo messages me, Joe will appear on WhatsApp. You know what I mean? So I knew it was Aunt because I saw her name and then I saw
Father.
my name
Oh, right.
in the messages. Also, like if I went to leave or go somewhere during the day, I woke up twice with her in my room. Um,
What?
yeah,
Like
no, I woke
inside
up
your room.
with her yeah,
So
twice.
what? So what? She's just standing there looking at you or something?
Oh no, one time she went to there was like a fan and she came to like turn off the fan or something or whatever. The second time I really don't know why she came in, and
Oh my god,
I'm
that's so
not
creepy.
I didn't know at all.
That's so
Uh
creepy. See,
Also like
little things like that. In their culture, they might think it's perfectly fine. She's a woman. I'm a woman. I can walk in.
and I was like no thank, but like I'm not, I feel like I can't be rude at this point.
Of course, I'm a hostage.
And
I would be feeling like a hostage at this point. I'll be
so
so
now
turned
you
off by
kind of
that.
see how it's built in. Also, I knew that she was going through my shit because
Shit.
let's say I have these two items and they're in this order. If I come back and I see them like this, that's not how I left it.
Mm.
Um, so
Sure,
that
it's not
was
your
kind of
paranoia. Sure, it's not your
no,
paranoia,
like
or like
I that wasn't paranoia. Like that was
was
actually
your
my stuff.
passport moved? Did you think your
Oh no, my
passport was?
passport was locked away. Anything that wasn't locked, like I might put like this pencil box.
Right.
If I had it on the counter, like just out, she would come in. I would notice my shoes would be moved next to my just under kind of the guise of I'm sure like cleaning the room or whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
But I think she was actually snooping on my stuff because why are you texting about me and how do you know what I have like in your like that's just kind of odd. So
Yeah, so Aunt looks pretty interested in what stuff you're bringing in. Like, so she must have
yeah,
told her, hey, go through it. Like, is there? I wonder what is it? Like, what? Yeah, what could be in your luggage that she's so interested in?
and I don't know what their schedule is, so uh I go and I do a family visit. Like I was gonna do the walking tour of Istanbul, but they go ahead and they call me, and I'm like expected to, you know.
Hello, at your
So
service.
I'm the the brother of nephew. His wife had just had a baby. She's covered head to toe, and she's serving everybody. And I'm kind of mad about it. And the reason why, like she seemed like a sweet girl and everything, but she looked
That's
like
your
she
future,
hadn't seen
honey.
a bed since 1997. She was tired.
That's your
She just
future.
had a baby like 3 days before I arrived in the
Oh
country.
my goodness.
And you have guests inviting guests, but you still have to serve us. And you are like, she was very genuinely seemed like a nice girl, but like I felt bad that she's like asking me what I would like. And it's like, I would like you to go to sleep. You look like you haven't seen a bed since 2007. Girl, please. I really wish you could go to bed. But, the boys are casually rolling in from the mosque after prayer time, and they have a full spread of shit like cookies, tea, like all of these little things, like little snacks and whatever. And that was the first time I got kind of like, I mean, I didn't say anything because you're in their
Of
house.
course.
Obviously, you can't say anything, and that's normal. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, complain about what's normal? So I was gonna be looking real irrational, but like that was like a kind of a wake up moment. So fast forward a little bit, I do the walking tour of Istanbul the next day, and she's kind of the aunt is calling me a lot, and I'm changing my voice and kind of changing the way that I talk because I have to give you the sweet voice. Like I still have to play this person because you're kind of stepping on me a little bit, and I really don't like it, but I'm a little too soft to do
I don't want
anything
to
right
antagonize
now.
you. Yeah, I don't want to
And
antagonize you. Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was in a position to. I didn't know what to do about it. A, but B, like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Mm.
I'm in a foreign country. I don't speak the language, and I don't know. I don't know.
But
So
Turkey itself is not really that medieval. Like, I mean, I would be really concerned if you were in Iran or Afghanistan. But Turkey
yeah,
itself, like, I
somewhere
mean,
under Sharia,
so
but
so yeah. But so anyway, so now you feel like so you go on this walking tour of Istanbul to see go some sightseeing. They're keeping an eye on you. The landlady's keeping an eye on you. She's going through your shit. You've been to their house. You've seen what does it mean to be a woman in a Muslim joint household. Like you have to serve everyone. Yeah, the youngest daughter-in-law is the servant of the house basically. She has to
yeah.
do everything. And that's only what you saw. She only
No, I would
she
shudder
does
at what I
laundry for
didn't.
everyone. She does laundry.
Yeah,
Everyone's
for
laundry. She
everyone.
does. Yeah, yeah.
And it's like
Cleans the
your
house.
guests are inviting guests. Do you like that's rude? That's just really inconsiderate. And like it's just inconsiderate as fuck. And that's just what I'm seeing on the surface, and I already don't like it. Like I just don't like that. And anyway, I go on this tour of Istanbul, and when every time with the phone calls, when I'm breaking character like this and putting on the sweet voice, the guy is a college student that like doing the Airbnb experience, and he's like, "Yeah, you're not in a good situation. Um, just you're just not in a good situation." And we became
Was he
like we
Turk?
became cool. He was. He
Okay, good.
was. He was he
There
was
you go.
Turkish. We become buddies. Like we genuinely like we hang out for the whole day, and like we genuinely become friends. So the next day he's like, "Hey, I don't have any tours scheduled, and I do you want to hang out with me?" And I was like, Actually, yes, that'd be lovely."
Mm.
And so we hang out the next day, and this is the pivotal day. So I decide at one point I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not, I can't anymore. I know it's only a couple days into being in Turkey, but like I'm starting to feel a little bit, this is beginning to be the turning point. I just can't. Um, and it's late at night. It's like 1 in the morning, and I'm like, "Hey, I know you live like an hour away, but do you want to get in the taxi with me? I would like to take my shit and go. Like, I need to leave. Like,
That
I really
happened.
believe that I need to get out."
Good.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll come with you," and you know, and I'm like, "I don't know what we're gonna do, but like we're gonna do something. Like I'm gonna do something. I need to leave, and
Buy a ticket and
I
stuff.
want to do so without the family. I don't want to, I just don't want any interference from anyone. And I'm trying
You
to
want to
do it
make your
as
own decision for once, because up until this point, you haven't been making any decision. Everything feels very obligatory. You have to do this. You came here for this. I gotta be nice to these people. They're expecting this from me. But now you're like, well, hang on a second. I'm done. I'm not feeling good. I want to get out of this situation. Do you have your money on you? And obviously, you have your passport with you, so you can just
Yeah.
buy a ticket and go. Okay.
All right.
So
So
this guy helps you.
yeah. So what happens is it's about 1:30 in the morning. We're about public transit in Turkey is it's shut down. Istanbul cart like the transit system's down. Like it's done for the night. Where I was, the district where I was like an hour, like 45 minutes away from his house. But I'm like, whatever at this point. something told me like you need to go on, get that zip up abaya, just zip it up. You need to throw a hijab on that head, like, you need to just, something told me get in dress code. Just get in the game, get in dress code, just in case anything make yourself as nondescript as possible. I pack my shit up like I'm packing stuff up rapid fire. Lady stops me, and keep in mind she doesn't speak English, so she's on the phone through Google Translate, like, oh well, I haven't been paid, and I was like,
The woman's gonna pay you. Like, yeah.
I mean, I was like, that may be an issue for Airbnb support. I don't know what to tell you. But like I'll be back. Like I'm selling it. Oh, I'll be back. Like I'm saying whatever I think I need to say to get the fuck out. I return anything she let me borrow. Like she let me borrow like her Istanbul card, because I put money on it, but like I used it for transit or whatever, so I give it back. Like any kind of charger or like outlet charger that was in my room, like complimentary for me to use, I put that back. Like I make sure she has all of her stuff, all her shit, she has it back. So as I'm leaving, like she stops me, and that's when I kind of know I'm fucked, but I'm kind of trying to still sell this idea of, oh, everything's great and fine and lovely, and I'll be right back. But I have all my stuff like in my hands ready to go. So I roll out as quickly as possible. It's like 1:30 a.m. by the time I make it back outside. Friend is in the park across the street. There's like a playground across the street. And I get through the gate. I get through the apartment gate, the complex gate, and I shut the coded gate behind me. And there they are.
Aunt
And nephew are
Oh my
standing there
goodness.
in a car. Like
That
they have
quickly.
their car. Yeah. No,
So
they
you
were
alerted
like
them.
waiting on me almost. I didn't see it because like my focus, like my adrenaline's high. I'm just like, all right, we're gonna close this. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get to the park across the street. I don't know what I need to do, but I need to get out of here and I need to do it fast. So I'm gonna try to hide in the shadows. I'm whatever happens, like I just can't have the family show up. Sure as shit, like they're there and they're like
So how long
they're
did she delay you for? So obviously it seems like that was a delaying tactic by the landlady. How long did you have this back and forth with her?
it was like it was a little, I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
10 minutes, 15 minutes?
It felt like it was probably in reality 10 minutes, but it felt very quick. Like it felt very, because in my mind all that was going was like, it was like this.
So
My
she
mind was
alerted them.
moving like,
So she alerted them in that time, and they got here
they
in a
they pulled right
flash.
on up because they made sure that my Airbnb was within walking distance to the family house.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
that's okay.
so now I see why they put me there.
Sure, makes
Um,
sense. So they
so
lived in the hood. That's why they put you in the hood. Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't because they wanted to give me the trap house experience, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But they lived in the district, like technically next to the hood, but
Yeah.
they just put me in the hood because it's within walking distance, and
And
it's
they
pretty
probably knew
close
this
by.
lady. And they probably knew this lady too.
Something tells me they might have. I don't know if but they definitely made some kind of arrangement beforehand. They had to have. They had to have.
Mm.
Um, and just they're outside, and they're in a car. They're outside. I have my rolling suitcase and my backpack, and I am just really like my mind is,
I'm out.
and yeah, I'm just out. Like I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but my back is against the wall, and I need to make a move. She Aunt takes my rolling suitcase out of my hand and
Wow.
get in the car. Get in the car. You will stay at our family's house. We will
Oh.
decide where you will go tomorrow.
Oh.
And I am like,
Oh.
I don't know what the fuck to say at all.
Oh
I
my
don't know what
goodness.
to say. And nephew is
But
like, oh wallahi, I will never hurt you. I'm just like I'm you are safe with us. Like
I'll marry more women after you though.
yeah, like, and he's like, oh wallahi, yeah, blah blah blah. And it's like, no,
Wow.
you don't understand, like the
Fight or
threat.
flight mode. Yeah, I know there's a fight or flight mode. Someone's
The
what
threat
happened.
is not like, it's not, what I think is, I don't, a bear could come, I would rather a bear come get me
That's a
at
panic
this
attack.
point.
You're
Yeah.
borderline having a panic attack right now.
I'm starting to really lose my shit because the idea behind like this escape was you won't be here.
Let that
The
inner
fact that you
Mexican
are
come
here.
out. Let that inner Mexican come out.
Yeah, like I was, we're very athletic. We hop board. I'm kidding.
In
I
the
don't want to
bag,
make a
drop
super
my bag.
awkward
I'm
joke.
running. There's my friend. And that would have killed them had they known that there's a guy waiting outside who's going to take you to
Well,
the
this is the
airport.
crazy part of the altercation. So I'm like, I'm starting to freeze a little bit because I don't know what I'm supposed to say or what I'm supposed to do. And so, friend comes from the park and actually he makes an appearance and goes, actually, she doesn't want to come with you. And
Oh,
like actually starts like trying to be the hero of the situation.
well done.
And while I appreciate that, and I think, we should all, when we can help another person and we're in the position to do so safely, we should. Like, I just, like, that's just an in good faith, like, just moral compass I have. And that's
And
like a
I'm
belief
telling you
I
that only
hold. But, like,
happened. And I'm telling you that only happened because it was Turkey. This is why I said, had it been Iran or Afghanistan, or even Pakistan
oh, I
for
would have
that
been
matter,
cooked,
I don't think
fried.
that, and no one would have gotten involved. They would have been like, "Oops, it's their internal family domestic matter. I'm not getting involved."
Yeah. The attitude definitely would have been different. But like he was trying to be definitely a little too heroic. And it's like, dude, like,
Too heroic.
I'm all for being the hero, but like you are like actually saying what I think a little bit. Like you're kind of giving me away a little bit here, and you need to shut. Like if you say something wrong, I feel like that might endanger my safety at this. Like you need to stop talking. Like I don't say that, but in my heart, I'm really just hoping just shut up. Like I need to find a way to get out. Like I don't know what to do,
No, but
and so
if you hadn't come, then they would have somehow compelled you to get in the car, though.
I would have gotten in the car. So I'm glad he was there, but he began like, like encouraging me to stand up for myself and like me tell them directly that I don't want it. And
Mm.
I'm like, I'm trying, I can't break character. I have to, I'm kind of frozen and don't know what to do. They don't want to get the Turkish police involved. And he had the idea, hey, let's get the cops. Let's call the Turkish police. And
Your friend said
meanwhile,
that, yeah.
yeah, friend
Yeah,
friend says that they
fair
don't
enough.
want to call the Turkish police. They
Of
don't want to
course.
do it. And I'm like, oh, that takes the attention. I'm in my mind, that takes the attention off of me. And if anything happens, like if they take me somewhere, I can just act like a damsel in distress. Like I hate playing that card, but if I have to do
I
that,
got it.
I'm going to run by any means necessary at this point. So if I need to be damsel in distress, if I need to get on all fours and bark like a dog and put ears on, right? That's what I'm going to do to protect myself right now. I'm in this mode, like I need to get out of here, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm like, oh, great idea. Yeah, the cops. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, bring the cops. Sure. Um, Aunt is busy. She's straight calling. She calls people from the mosque. She's calling her husband, her son. She's calling my mom. She is
Your
calling the
mom?
U.S. Embassy.
U.S. Embassy? What the
Yeah,
U.S.
she called
Embassy
the
gonna
U.S.
do?
Embassy. Matter of fact, like when I was later when I got away in a getaway car, the embassy called me and was like, "Hey, we got a report that you were being kidnapped. We just wanted to know if you were in a safe location at this point at this time." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm safe." And they're like, "Oh well, do you feel threatened in any way? Like, or like they're asking me questions as though I'm a kidnapping victim or a potential kidnapping
Your
victim."
friend kidnapped you. Apparently, that's what they told them. Is that what they were
Uh,
trying to?
or I'm sorry, bleep that up, bleep that up.
Yeah.
Aunt says, "Oh, well, like this person is a gangster. He's trying to kidnap you.
Oh.
Like this is like this person's manipulating you, and he wants you to feel bad for him, yada yada." And at that point, like I'm at this like anyway, the cops come and I end up getting in the back of the car with them because I now want to play the damsel in distress right at this point. So I do so. I end up, what
I
ends
mean,
up happening,
he could be a gangster too. Like, I mean, you could be, who knows? I mean, who he was. They
his
could have
mom
trafficked
worked at
you
a
as well.
university. Like he had no criminal record. And like
No, no,
they
but that's what
even,
he told. No, I'm saying that's what he had told you up until this point. I mean, you may not know. I'm just you're still in a foreign country at the end of
that's
the day.
true. That's
I mean, hey,
true.
so now Aunt is saying that oh he's a gangster, he's manipulating you. We know her angle, but hang on. I mean, who knows who this guy is?
And fair enough. But it turns out
He was alright.
like she was saying this to the cops, and they did a background check on they ran his background, or they did something to where like I was even alerted like this person doesn't have a criminal record or anything.
He was alright.
So well, that's fair enough. All I saw in that moment, or in this situation, was like this person is actually like this might have been the break that I needed, because otherwise I don't feel like I can get out safe and effectively, because I already feel like there's already cause for concern because the family and that's the one thing I didn't want to happen. And I start having this meltdown. My mom calls me and she's like, "Hey, I heard that you're in a dangerous situation, and I'm asking you." And I'm like, "You can't ask me anything. I am done." Like I start like, and I'm not like a mean bitch to my mom, but I'm like definitely like, "Don't
Yeah,
ask me for
they,
anything." Like I'm
yeah.
melting down a little bit. Like I'm starting to lose my cool. Cops come. The solution was to take me to a hotel, and I'm like, cool, cool.
Away from this
Um,
woman. She's just
yeah,
standing
like
at the
please,
base of my bed. She's looking at me while I'm
yeah.
sleeping. I want to get out of
It's like
here.
the dragon can't breathe down my neck anymore. That's fine. Take me to Timbuktu. I don't care. I don't care where I go at this point. Just wherever. I know at this point, like it's up to me to finance it, and it's like that's fine. I got all my shit. It's cool. Let's leave. So I take friend with me, like just so that like he can get closer to home, because I it's for me it's like you can't just leave people there, right? Like I can't just take you an hour from your house. I have invited you, and I'm gonna leave you stranded. And he left like the taxi we got into, like to get to the district I was in, to get to my Airbnb. He actually lost his phone. Like he legitimately did like drop his phone in the car. And so it's like, I'm going to leave you without any way to communicate with anybody, like no phone, no nothing like that. No, I cannot do that to you. And so like we ended up, we get taken away. Aunt is calling me off the chain. Like I get repeated phone calls from her. The US Embassy calls me, live location requests, off the chain. And so I drop a pin, like an Apple, I drop a pin just at some random, like it was a random fucking street corner, and because I knew like there was gonna be a way to go.
Yeah. Art would be
So
like, where did we go wrong? I thought we had it. We had it in control.
no, like I knew she's I just I don't know. Like I dropped a pin on a random street corner. At this point, like I cannot give you my location. I can't disclose. I'm not about to disclose these things to you.
You got it.
I know that you would really like me to get away from the gangster that's here to attack me and viciously commit crimes against me, right? And I understand that, but like I'm just not gonna. No, you cannot be like the live location request started to overwhelm me. My mom calls me the next day when I'm in a new Airbnb, because I have to hop like four different Airbnbs until it's time for my departure flight to go back to London to come back to America.
Mm.
So I'm hopping around, and my mom calls me the next day and goes, "Yeah, aunt called me and she wanted to know what mental illnesses you had. Also, like I don't know how she knew that you had like do you have prescription medication out by chance? Because she said that you seem to be under like a lot like the under the influence of a lot of psychiatric medications, and wanted to know about your mental illnesses. Like,
Oh.
and I was and I'm not mentally ill is the thing."
Well, now
Um,
now that makes sense why they were going through your luggage. maybe they
Yeah.
wanted
See,
to
now
make
the luggage
sure.
thing. Now you
Right.
see why. Now you see the plot. You see the plot.
Ah, okay, all right,
So now you
okay.
see why, like, it's not just, it's a little more than just being nosy or curious. Like, they really want to know what I'm bringing. Like, they really want to top down. Like,
They're just doing a
that's
proper
why they
check.
care so
They're doing a proper check on you. That's what they mean by, okay, make sure you look at the girl, if there's anything wrong with her or not. And obviously, this falls in the category of something's wrong with her, the bitch is crazy. I not stay away from it. So they wanted to know.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so now, like, now you see why the Airbnb host looking through my stuff and this being like this when I come back, that's
Ah,
not paranoia. Like,
nah, I gotcha. That makes
that's a
sense.
legitimate, like, what the fuck. So now
I
you
need
see
to.
why the concern over my stuff is there.
Right.
So I end up like having like an
So hang on.
I'm not yeah.
But no, but also, but you're not under any medication. You didn't take any medication with you, and she still threw that at you because maybe she doesn't understand that this is borderline kidnapping. This is manipulating you to go to a country, marry a dude that you've never seen or met before, who's totally alien. His culture is totally alien to your culture, what you know, and now you've seen walls closing in around you, and you panic. Like as I said, like I would have panicked when I would have woken up, seeing that woman standing at the end of my bed. I'm like, bitch, what are you doing here? Like I would have left then.
No, she was actually in my face. Like I was at the like I had the fan like just to cool my body, like right. So like she was literally like the fan was near my face,
Right.
and she was literally like in my face. Like I
Yeah.
literally saw this lady in my face.
That's a perfectly normal reaction. So there's nothing wrong with you. There's everything's wrong with the way how they manipulated you into coming to Istanbul.
Yeah, and then I'm like for my mom to be like, yeah, like she was like asking, like she was like, oh yeah, if I knew that she was so mentally ill, then I wouldn't have asked her to come. Like I don't know what's wrong with your
But did your mom
daughter.
not say she's got no mental health issues? Like, what are you talking about? My daughter's perfectly normal.
Yeah, my mom said that too. My mom's like, I don't know where they're getting these ideas from, but she was really
Well, I
asking about your
guess,
mental illnesses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because now they knew that you're out of their control. You're going to go back to America. You're probably going to talk about your experience, and they don't want anything to fall back onto them. So what they're going to say? No, the bitch is crazy. It wasn't us.
I was actually, before I even hit American soil, like shortly after, I'm not like nobody, like people start dissociating from me like the plague. Like I'm being socially ostracized. And this is before I officially decide to leave Islam.
We'll come to that. Did you see those two girls? Those two women who.
They actually called to check it just to see if I was alive, right? Because they wanted to make sure that that I was physically okay. And they kind of wanted the tea on this. They kind of wanted the tea. After I actually said something and I was like, this is what happened. And all the things that you said were actually correct. And this is what happened subsequently. But I'm fine. Thank you for that. And like I just knew that like that wasn't to other people's approval. But I mean,
it doesn't matter.
That's
You're alive. You could have been. Who knows? You could
I
have been
mean, bad
manipulated
things
into
could have
marrying him.
happened. Worse things happened to people.
Oh yeah, you could have been manipulated into marrying him, and he suddenly would have popped out babies, and that's it. You're stuck. Now maybe after that he would have moved on to someone else, but that could have been your life. So you come back to the U.S. What happened when you said, "Oh my God"? What the hell have I just been through? This is all bullshit. Take off my niqab or hijab, and what was that moment? What was that like?
So ironically, what I like to say my turning point is like my turning point was the seeds were planted in London because I had a 12-hour layover before I got back to America. I decide that I deserve a drink because you know what? I deserve it. And I deserve it. And I know that my prayers won't be valid for 40 days or whatever. But you know what? I'm kind of salty. Like I've had the prayer calls dominating my life like the call to prayer, hearing the adhan, and there are so many mosques around. It was like literally I can't escape the prayer call. I can't. And it's at this point I'm kind of, I'm not, I'm feeling guilty for being agitated about it and being on
Lucky you
edge.
didn't stay in East London, otherwise you would have heard Azan prayer over there too.
Oh, that's true too. Like especially like the Whitechapel tube
Oh,
station, like that area.
that's disgusting.
Um,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah. So you
Um,
had a drink. You thought about it. Your experience.
yeah. So it just happens to like on the fly. I thought it was a 2 hour layover. It was a 22 hour layover.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So I thought it was 2 hours. It's actually 22. So I need a place to stay. I end up like finding a place for 80 pounds. So I go ahead, I book it. There's a pub downstairs, so I'm totally just take off the hijab, like, let's be normal today. So I go and I'm like having a pint and I'm rehashing the story. And there's this guy that comes in. We would end up dating, and I was like, I don't like we would end up dating later. But he's the one that was like, don't you think that these things are all really strange and you're still very loyal to this religion? But all of these things are you that came out of your own mouth, right? Like these things don't concern you. Like the seeds were beginning to be planted, and I
So he was
straight
a
up
London
told him
boy.
like,
So he was a London boy.
he was British, London
Right.
boy, like born and bred.
Right.
One of the few still in London, because I think it's what like 30% actual
Yeah.
white British people live in London.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was fortunate enough to meet great dude. But I came back to America, like we traded numbers and whatever, because we spent 12 hours together, 12, 13 hours just
Not bad.
talking, getting to each other. Yeah.
I'm,
Um,
I'm assuming you told him your entire story at that point.
yeah. And
Wow.
that he's the one that planted some seeds. Like, you don't think these things are strange? Like, this came out of your own mouth, and you don't think that's weird? Like, oh yeah, no, that's a religious obligation, and yeah. And I was even saying things that were just really bizarre, like, yeah, I'm sitting here drinking, but it's not a mistake; it's a choice. It's not a
Right.
mistake; it's a choice. Like, it's all my fault because I'm not following the religion,
Mm.
but like I feel guilty about it even though I'm openly not following it. Do you
See,
see how like weird that
see
is?
how religion can make you gaslight yourself.
Yeah, that's why that's the whole point of the niqab, because I would
Wow.
do that and it would like sometimes really upset me, and I just wanted to cover my face from that so I could still keep up appearances.
Mm.
And
But anyway,
I would
so
end up
to,
going back to London. Like we would get to know each other. I almost ended up becoming a second wife to someone because I was on a Muslim matchmaker, and
oh, so you didn't immediately let go of religion. You didn't
I
immediately.
didn't. I
Right.
didn't immediately let it go. I even told British boy, uh, I don't like that you're not Muslim. It's against my religion, but I really like you as a person, so
But he
I'm
said,
gonna I'm
"I'm
gonna
not."
let that slide.
But he said, "I'm not going to convert to Islam for you, honey."
Yeah, he said,
Nah,
you
good
know,
man.
yeah, he's a good. That was if it hadn't been for him, I would I would have stayed a lot longer. I was on a Muslim
Matrimony,
matchmaking platform,
right?
and I had the opportunity to just be flown out to London, and
Huh.
my crazy ass said, I will fly back out to London, and this is to potentially be a second wife to someone. And I'm like, I just have to keep up the nice Muslim girl act for like 3 or 4 days, or however many days, and then I can see who I really want to see, like because he's even saying like, you're welcome to stay in our house. However, if you would like to stay in a separate accommodation, we'll agree that that's on you, and you are more than welcome to do that. I already know I got a place to stay.
Right.
Like you just so after like 3 days, 4 days, like he's like, I don't really feel attraction here, and I'm like, you know what? No hard feelings, same here, same, nice to meet you though. So I go my separate way. That's when British guy and I are like, we really connect. And that's when, like, that was the actual turning point. Like, I left my niqabs, hijabs, my fancy, like, abayas, all of that
Goodness.
shit. I left all that shit in London. All
Oh,
that shit
good.
left it
You
in
left it in
London.
that dump over there. Well done.
Yes, and I left it, and I was like, I don't need this shit. I don't need like it literally weighed down my luggage to the point where yeah, my flight was paid for, and he did. I did make sure to get my check bag paid for in advance too. Because it ain't
Yeah.
tricking if you got it.
So,
But
so you stayed in
I felt like
London?
such a bitch. I'm sorry, I felt like such a bitch for saying that.
No, no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. You were still giving it a final go. I mean, yes, your heart is telling you one thing, but your mind is saying, no, hang on, maybe I have to do this. I have to stay in this religion. No, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong in that. And he also voluntarily said that there's no attraction, so he let you go. So there's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that.
so it was something that like I was giving it an honest chance, and because I had talked to
You were.
his wife, and the reasoning for wanting to get him a second wife was legit. So I was like, oh, okay, we'll just see. I'm
How
my
was that
little
experience?
delusional.
You're talking to your future husband's first wife. So is that okay if I'm gonna be a second wife? So the first part
It was her idea.
Monday to Wednesday he's gonna be with you. Thursday to Friday he's gonna be with you. Like what did you discuss? It's so bad.
um, It was, yeah, it was, and to be like, he was a lovely person. I thought lovely guy, like lovely family, like they were genuinely very kind people, but it just wasn't something like he didn't see the connection going farther, and neither did I. But Islam was literally weighing down my luggage to the point like they put heavy tags on my checked bag, on my pre-checked or my prepaid,
Really?
because you know how you can add a carry or a check
Yeah.
bag before
No.
you fly.
Yeah.
So he did, like that was already prepaid for me. Islam, like once I got rid of it, like it was like 7 pounds or something worth of shit that I had. Like once I got rid of the abayas, niqabs, hijabs, all of that,
It was within the
it
acceptable limit.
literally lifted up my life. It lifted up my luggage weight. Okay, like the literal weight of my luggage went down.
And off your shoulders too.
Oh yeah,
So
no, the
so
psychological weight was immense. Yeah.
so now you're like, okay, that's why I came here. So you met the London boy. So you started dating with him, and obviously during that process, you were like, no, Islam is not for me.
Yeah, it wasn't. And then I think I was kind of drowning in a little bit of freedom there. I remember the first time I wore short sleeves, or like I felt like a streetwalker the first time I wore shorts. Like I felt like a prostitute because I was so used to being like covered in abayas, like having a full outfit on under an
Like
abaya.
this, like
Yeah,
you
like I felt like a streetwalker. Like this is what prostitutes wear. The only prostitutes wear shorts. Like that's how I was used to looking with a full outfit under that dress. So like jeans, yeah, shirts that yeah, that's in Istanbul. That's during the walking tour, yeah.
look. A lot of women complain about that. They say that once we took the hijab off or we felt naked. I think it's just again it just goes on to show that us human beings we are habitual creatures, and when we start doing something over and over again, we feel that it's a part of us, but it doesn't mean it has to be a part of you.
Yeah, and it's just bizarre like how just I felt so weird doing something that I had done my whole life. Like
Mm.
as a child, I wore shorts and short sleeve shirts all the time, right? Like, and it was bizarre that I now feel like I'm wrong or guilty for not covering up, and for also because I chose to have a drink in London. Like I was like really feeling like terrible about it. Like I'm this like bad, like just dirty, like wrong person. I'm like in my head believing this. And I remember just talking to British Lad, and British Lad goes, I didn't tell you this when we met, but you were by far the most brainwashed person I've ever talked to.
And they still liked you though.
No, he did. Like we got along great, but
Yeah.
yeah, like we
Okay,
would end up dating, but yeah.
so so did you end up living in London with him or not?
Things like ultimately didn't work out,
Right.
just because like distance, like he was gonna even come visit me here in America, and
Mm.
like it was really cool, but like to keep that up, just things were kind of like falling apart. So it was difficult to keep together.
Right.
And while I value the input and the impact he had on my life, because had it not been for the gentle push that I
You
needed,
might
because
have been the second wife of that of
yeah,
some
I
other
might have been
dudes.
someone's second wife. I might have been, I could be nephew's fourth wife by this, or I would have been, well,
Nephew's
I
second
could have
wife,
been
but he would have had
four.
more wives by now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's the so that's obviously it's a very motivational story. Like I mean, I just feel like sometimes I feel bad when I hear stories, and especially that your story happened only 2 years ago, and which I people like me have been active for many years, and we hope that what we do it somehow gets to people like you who are falling into this trap. Um, what is your advice? What advice would you like to give? Because I can understand. I mean, there's no judgment here and there's no blame game here. Because I can, listening to you, I can understand how one thing can lead to another. And us human beings, and when we want to believe in something, as you said, cognitive dissonance, we want to believe in something, we tend to ignore all these other things, like all these other red flags that are appearing. We just tend to ignore that. And I can understand that because it may not happen to me in the case of religion. It happens to me in other things, like in a business deal or something. When you're seeing a red flag, but you choose to ignore it. You as a woman, what advice would you give to other Western women who may end up where you ended up, or that definitely would have. I'm 100% certain that would not have ended well for you. Either whether you would have become someone's second wife, or who knows, a victim of domestic abuse in a foreign country, who knows any of these things, that would not have ended well. Even if you were a happily married third wife, I don't think that's good for someone who grew up in the West, where you have so many freedoms. You can literally carve your own path. And yes, I mean, life is not easy. We can have ups and downs in our lives, and we can feel unsatisfied with our lives, and that may make us, I don't know, look for other avenues. So all of these things can happen, but as I always say, Islam is not the answer to that. So what would you say to any young woman who may fall into this trap?
Um, I want you to know you can't buy your way into happiness. Islam will not make you a new person. This whole taking drastic measures to change your reality, you're still the same person, right? You could give a poor person $1 million. If they have like wherever you go, there you are. The poor person will still probably have those same habits. They'll just do it in an apartment, or they'll do it on a more upscale level, right? So no matter where you go, there you are. Whatever you're running from, whatever you are facing, whatever you are trying to get away from, whoever you are trying to be, it's not going to happen by the means of doing these drastic things and taking drastic measures and trying to go on a little life journey, right? Like you need to have a turning point. And it's unfortunate that, all right, well, I'm very fortunate that things ended up the way they did. I was very, very lucky in a lot of regards. I lucked out a lot. That's more of an exception. I wouldn't say that that's going to be the norm for a lot of people. And we like to think that bad things happen away from us. It's in America. It's here. It's in your backyard, and we don't like to think about that because it's uncomfortable. But it's here. And if you are watching this, I urge you to. There's nothing wrong with educating yourself on Islam, but the what you're being sold. If you have a dawa person, if you have anyone influencing you, and you're being kind of pushed to look into Islam, I would urge you to just
Read the Google reviews.
yeah, please read the Google reviews. It gets only 1 star because you can't rate it no stars. You do have to give it 1 star. But I would rate my experience as a 1 star. Please
Oh,
do not. um, life is better and more beautiful without it. It really
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
better off, I promise.
My friend Nuria Khan says that she says Islam just sucks joy out of life. Like it just sucks joy out of everything. All these
Yeah.
things that you say that are unnecessary. Like I'm an atheist. I don't know what you are, but like I mean,
I'm not religious.
yeah. I mean, we're just on this planet living our lives. We're here for 60, 70, 80 years. Any day could be our last. We don't need to burden ourselves with needless things. Be a good person. I mean, you don't need religion to be a good person. I think I'm a pretty good person. I do the right thing most of the time. I can be a dick every now and then, but that's fine, and so can
Yeah.
any religious person be.
Everyone
So
is like that, yeah.
yeah, so
We all have asshole moments, it's fine.
we don't need these abayas and all of the anyway. That well, thank
We
you very.
don't. I
And
mean,
as you said,
it's
life is
true.
beautiful. Life is beautiful without all these things. And thank you very much. I think that's very brave of you. And I think I really hope that a lot of people watch this video because you never know. Like, I mean, you also listen to Joanne's story, and who knows, like, this may change someone's life or it may stop someone from going into a self destructive mode. Um, I say thank you very much for joining us and doing this interview.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.